Hello folks, in this guide we are covering all 30 stash locations within the cement factory. These are all standard and there are no DLC stashes within this region. I've made this guide as simple and straightforward as possible. A few side notes before we get into this. As far as I can tell, the main story will not take you to the cement factory or the cooling towers north. These regions are completely optional. The cement factory is a relatively small area compared to most, and it does have a hub which is located in the north. This is where we will be starting our route, so I advise making your way here before starting this guide. If you're looking for a specific stash, then I've timestamped each one for convenience. Otherwise, I'm going through all of the stashes in one clean run, so if you would like to, or if you're unsure as to which stashes you may have missed, then feel free to follow along. One side note would be, some of these stash locations may require us to first discover the stash hint. This will explain why certain stashes don't appear for some players. Other than that, let's get started. Our first few stash locations are in and around the hub itself. First, head into the mill and make your way upwards and into the room up top. Once here, follow the platforming on screen to reach the metal beams above. From here, you'll find the stash sitting on the other side of the beams. Next, head back outside and into this small building. Head upwards and then cautiously drop down here onto the ledge below. Here, you'll find an additional stash. Our next location is just slightly outside of the hub, right here on the map. Head into this sewer entrance and follow the path all the way through. You'll eventually reach this room with a stash in the corner. Our next location is just north, right here on the map. Here on this broken bridge, simply cross over and find a stash hiding just underneath. Our next location is this building slightly south, marked right here on the map. Once here, simply head up to find a stash sitting on the roof. Our next location is west, right here on the map. This is optional. The corpse on the other side of this radiation pit does have a PDA, which does contain the code for a safe later on in this guide. Of course, you can simply copy off screen later on, but the hint is located here. Our next location is west at this marker right here on the map. I first advise entering this facility through this entrance. There are multiple others, but this is probably the best. In here are a number of bloodsucker mutants. Staying up top will cause them to flee and hide behind cover. You can drop to this ledge. This will cause them to come right below you for you to shoot. Alternatively, you can drop down and back into this small room to funnel them into your shotgun. Once done, the truck at the center of the room has a stash hiding in the back. Next, follow the path on screen to locate an additional stash within this locker. Next, head through the facility until finding this truck. On the back is the last stash. To exit, simply break these boards in front of the truck. Our next location is this facility south, marked right here on the map. On the western side, you can find a hole behind this truck. Head inside to find the stash sitting at the end. Looting here will cause a bloodsucker mutant to spawn outside, so do be warned. Next, in the building on the eastern side of the facility, follow the path on screen to locate an additional stash. Our next location is south, at this marker right here on the map. Here we have this mountain of safes, all but 2 of them are empty. Whilst not strictly a stash, I wanted to cover this location regardless. First, start from the western side. From these 2 safes, head over to this cluster and open this safe here to reveal a smaller safe inside. Within the smaller safe is a key. Use this key on the large safe at the center of the middle cluster. Inside here is a modded bucket S2. Now this weapon can currently glitch through the surface of the safe and onto the ground below. In some instances, you should be able to sit on this safe here at the side and see part of the bucket below. If you are able to, then fire off a shot and hopefully the weapon should pop right out. If this fails, or if you're unable to place a shot, then a well-placed grenade may do the trick instead. Our next location is this sunken village to the east, marked right here on the map. First, head into this small house, and in the far back room, you'll find this stash right here. Next, head into the other small house, and again, head into the far back room to locate an additional stash. Next, we want to approach this schoolhouse. Upon doing so, you will be swarmed by a pack of Stalker mutants. Once dealing with them, head inside and activate the side quest with this NPC.
Why the hell did me and Pashka split up?
Head downstairs in the schoolhouse and continue through until aggroing an additional pack of snorks. My advice is to either head into the open area and find better positioning, or simply back up as soon as the snorks aggro and funnel them into your shotgun. Once done, head inside and towards this buried house to locate the stash right here. Our next location is this structure, marked right here on the map. Here we have the cage, a platforming maze with heavy psi effects. I advise saving before attempting, as you may fall to your death. When ready, follow the path on screen. I took this path nice and slow to allow for easier following. My advice would be to not panic. There is no danger here other than the hindered sight and the slow damage over time effect, which can easily be dealt with just a few meds. Take your time and make your way right to the roof of the maze. Once on the roof, both debilitating effects will cease and you'll be free to collect loot in your own time. Head over to the corner of the roof to find the stash right here. When ready, drop down from the center hole onto this anomaly below. From here, head to the small building at the back and head around to this crack in the wall. Aim through and shoot the lock inside. Head around to the front of the building, and within the now unlocked room, you will find this stash. Our next location is south, marked right here on the map. Here we have this ruined house. Head inside and make your way up on top of the walls. Navigate over them towards this roof here to find the next stash. Our next location is east, marked right here on the map. First, head into this large tunnel entrance. Inside, you'll find a train car. Enter this to locate the stash right here. Next, head back outside and over to the large facility. Head on through the doorway on the left-hand side. Follow this through until eventually reaching this large open room. At the back of this room is a burrow mutant, which will aggro you when you get too close. Littered around this room are also numerous guns that the burrow will use against you. Once dealing with the burrow, head inside and follow the path on screen to find the first stash. Next, continue through the facility until eventually reaching this room to find the next stash right here. Our next location is north, right here on the map. Here, we first want to make our way up this ladder and onto the roof. Navigate through the glass shard anomalies to locate a stash on the opposite side of the roof. Next, head back down and into this small building. In the back corner, you'll find a safe and a code lock. The combination is located within the PDA from earlier on in this guide. However, feel free to simply copy off screen. Next, head outside and over to this ruined house to find an additional stash sitting just here. Our next location is this marker right here on the map. Once here, head into this small building and be wary of the booby traps. In here, you'll find the next stash within this locker. I advise heading to the hub before finally making your way to the cement factory, marked right here on the map. First, I advise heading towards this side of the main building and heading up this stairway. At the top, you should find a poltergeist mutant. Once dealing with them, head into this room and destroy these planks. Drop down below to find this body. On its inventory, you will find this key. Next, drop outside and make your way over to this small building. Use the key to unlock the room up top. Inside, you will find this stash. Next, head back outside and up this nearby ladder. Follow the path on screen to navigate to the very top of the pipe. Here, you'll find this stash. Next, head to the northeast corner to find this NPC here.
Everybody's just ignoring me.
Activate his side quest and head down the manhole to the tunnels below. Continue through until reaching this large room. Follow the path on screen to locate a stash. Next, head back outside and below are two burrow mutants and many weapons scattered around. This can be a very tough fight. My best advice is to try and push past the burrows onto the walkway on the other side. There are a few guns you can pick up here as to avoid being shot by them. From here, you can more or less take your time picking them both off. Once ready, head back downstairs and through this doorway, you'll find an additional stash. Next, head back up and continue through the facility. There is an electrical anomaly here that will periodically patrol certain locations along this corridor. Time your window and follow the path on screen. Follow this path through until reaching this room with some booby traps and the stash inside. Head back to the corridor, and once again, time your window to continue down and follow the path on screen. Head towards the very end to unlock and exit through this door. Finally, in the last room, head over towards this side of the truck and inside this barrel to find the last stash. That is it for this guide, folks. The cooling towers will be next, and all 3 of its guides will be out within roughly the next 48 hours. I do, of course, have a range of guides on the channel already, so do feel free to stop on by and check things out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.